house fire. Bad one. At least 4 Vicks. Get out there and find out what you can. The address is 650 North Hobart.
Привет. Расследование пожара в жилом доме. Фигурант дела. Новое. Поеду смотреть, кто там что спалил. Это дело называется «Прогулка по Елисейским полям». Прогуляемся. Мой напарник очень любит ездить на машине, поэтому он всегда ездит.
You hear about Ранчо Эскондидо?
Are we having a conversation, Biggs?
Okay, fuck it. Forget
I'm teasing you, Hirsch. Tell me about it.
The new housing development's a couple of weeks from completion. Burned to the ground last night. GIs are ready to move in this weekend. Developer's gonna have some very angry customers.
Ох, как все сгорело, это хорошо. Вот как с рекламой.
You guys better see this. I hope you have strong stomachs.
Так, надо... Ох, нифига себе.
Morelli, Mike, we recovered a picture of the family. Okay. Anything else? Be honest, I just got here, Phelps. Best you talk to Lynch, he's the expert. Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved. Ooh. I think someone moved them after the explosion and before the fire.
Can you explain that, please?
I'm almost positive the cause of death is asphyxiation due to gas inhalation. Look at the parts of their bodies that aren't scorched. The coloring around the fingertips is typical.
They wouldn't have felt a thing.
I think the fire damage is post-mortem. I think someone moved him into this room after the explosion.
It still doesn't make any sense. Why would you run into a burning building?
Так, первая улика — это сами трупы.
What are they doing?
Prayer effect is on
Сами
the fire.
позже пожара, жары мышцы схожили, сжимаются. Да, картина не очень. Так, улика Б. Карточка.
Do you ever think about how many people have died in this world? And how big heaven would have to be to accommodate them, Biggs?
No, I have not. Show some respect.
It's our boy.
Вот наш мальчик,
I
думаю,
think he
любит
watches the
смотреть на
fires. I
пожар.
think the Sawyer fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
Got the wrong guy.
It doesn't explain why he ran into a burning building.
Вопрос, почему он бежал в
What would
горящее
make anyone
здание?
do that?
Что побудило его к этому?
Guilt for the
То есть
fire
именно из-за
or his
пожара?
mistake. This
Из-за
guy
своей
wants to burn
ошибки.
houses,
Парень
not
же
families.
здание, а не людей.
He
Я думал,
expects
что
the
дома
houses
никого
to be
нет.
empty. He was trying to
Он
redeem
хотел
himself.
искупиться, видимо.
Probably thought they'd be happier
Наверное,
together.
решил, что вместе им будет лучше.
You are one very disturbed individual, Phelps. I know you had it rough lately, but you should start to compartmentalize your thoughts.
He could be right. Can you come up with an alternative explanation?
I'm sure it's the same guy.
Are you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the whole family, and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might fit, Cole, but I don't think we could ever prove it. There's very little evidence.
Ох,
Evidence?
Albert, check out the hot water system. Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
Sure, Phelps. I'll get back to you.
Leave the rest to us, Cole. You gotta find out what's eating
так,
Biggs.
есть еще улики в доме. Проверю дом, посмотрю, есть ли еще улики. Так, здесь... По-моему, ничего не сделать. Так, да, ничего. Б. Букву нельзя посмотреть. Угу. Подвал есть еще. Затопленный. Молоток. Тоже нам не даст. Молоток. Ничего. Понятно. Вот тоже ничего нету. Угу. Продукция. Тоже мимо. Двери закрыты. Здесь ничего. Здесь тоже. Зря только обувь промочил. А может быть что-то было, не знаю. Мяч.
Don't think this is anything.
Я тоже не думаю, что это важно.
Maybe. No.
Не так. Так, попробую пройти. Второй этаж есть. Второй этаж не подняться. Прогуляться вокруг дома, посмотреть, что еще может быть.
So something finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. The things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out. You're not gonna get this guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
You remember the list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around, work the neighbors, see what they know. I'll go across the street.
Okay, I'll try this side.
I haven't done this for years.
You don't look like
Говорит
a
соседом, я помню, заставки видел газету. Да, вот она лежит справа от горящего дома. В деле «Прогулка по Елисейским полям». Вот справа сразу лежит газета. Посмотрим.
How did you get my number, Ira?
At first I didn't understand you, but now I do.
I'd like you to come back to the clinic.
I'm helping other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I'm not confused anymore, Doctor. I'm helping people be together.
This world is only temporary. We'll all be happier in heaven.
Why don't you tell me where you are and I can come to you? I think the fires should end now. They have served their purpose.
Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor. After the fires, everything will be beautiful and clean.
Everything will be erased. The world will be fresh and new.
I can see my purpose now, Doctor. And you helped me to find it.
Son, you're a couple of slaves. Еще одна улика есть во дворе дома с торца. А, это нагреватель, понятно. Кто обслуживал? Дата, исполнитель, подпись. Роман Невис. Реджинальд Варли. Блин, мы того арестовали.
Looks like the same model.
В предыдущей главе. Ну, что ж. Сейчас посмотрю все улики, которые тут могут быть еще. Если ничего не найду, пойду дальше. Буду говорить с соседом по заданию.
LAPD. Can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman. Dudley Foreman.
Гурандела Дадли Форман. Первый вопрос. Показания о пожаре в доме Морелли.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
Сомнения.
You didn't like Morelli, did you?
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
Первый вопрос. Правильно, было сомнение. А следующий вопрос. Снос домов.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. They're billboards. That Monro character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
Глазки бегают и лицо такое. Это тоже сомнение, как и первый раз было.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
Тоже правильно. Третий вопрос. Розыгрыш
You
поездок.
said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. But then I find out they were still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
Не знаю. Ну, не похоже, что он знает, кто организовал лотерею. Ну, правда, истина.
You didn't enter yourself?
I'd already agreed to sell. The competition was an incentive for those who were still thinking about it.
Да, правильно. 3 вопроса, все в точку.
Let me through. I just want a quick look is all. swear, this town's going straight to hell.
Это мой напарник. В том ящике ничего нет.
Help me out.
Need more from the neighbors, Cole. Keep working.
Еще раз допросить.
The main reason Santa's so jolly is because he knows where all the bad girls live.
All a man can do is put in a prayer for the dead. About all I've got to say about it.
You are a modest little person with much to be modest about.
Не могу его еще раз допросить.
Is somebody gonna tell us what the hell's going on?
No usable evidence out here. Sorry. You have to take what you got and get to work.
Another day.
Почему я не могу его допросить еще раз?
All a man can do is put in a prayer for the dead. About all I've got to say about it.
Ничего нету. Текст
Let me through. I just want a quick look is all.
Нет больше соседей. Нет больше
Son, you're a couple of slates short of a full.
Я не нашел или не сделал. Не понимаю.
There are three kinds of people. Those who can count and those who can't.
The main reason Santa's so jolly is because he knows where all the bad girls live.
You are a modest little person.
Опа, следы какие-то нашел с бычками.
Someone was keeping watch.
Окурки.
Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive. Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
Подозрительная деятельность.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
Сомнения.
You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, a beat-up hat, and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
Тоже правильно.
Thanks for your time.
Четвертый вопрос.
Sure.
Курильщик.
Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those competition flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Any luck, Cole?
A couple of things. What did you pick up?
Folded piece of paper. Looks complicated.
Japanese call it origami. Can I take a look?
Sure.
Paper crane. There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
For Elizabeth Fields developments.
Elizabeth Fields. Новая задача найти адрес Elizabeth Fields. Новое место Elizabeth Fields, реклама и ну, будем искать.
Oh, I see you already have one.
Такая же самая. А, другая. А, нет, такая же. Мы за Новую Калифорнию. Ну-ка, купим ваш старый дом уже сегодня, звоните.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
Открыли телефон. Я понимаю, что сейчас будет адрес офиса Элизиан Field.
You gotta be kidding me. We're driving this?
I need an address for a property developer. Elizabeth Fields Developments.
One moment, Detective. The address is 748 North Oxford Avenue, Wilshire. Anything else?
Messages, please.
If you have a message, contact Captain McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course. Here you are.
Commander?
Leads on the Morelli fire.
We're about to go and visit Elizabeth Fields Developments.
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe? He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
Rehab is for quitters.
Kelty has warned us off over Elizabeth.
There it is.
Makes sense. It's at that end. We should check out Rancho Эскондидо.
You know the place?
Sure. Corner of
Босс
Fountain.
меня отшил с расследованием дальнейшим в Элизиан Fields. Сказал, что там какой-то крутой начальник, который связан с каким-то другим крутым начальником, и поэтому мы едем сейчас в Ранчо Эскондидо.
If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Shame about Chap. The arson desk has been trying to nail that son of a bitch for years.
He's still in custody, Herschel.
Want to bet? Fella kicked him loose already. Can't hold him for misdemeanor cigarettes and matches.
На ходу вылез.
You know, there are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir.
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America,
sir.
dickhead.
Now step back, or I'll lock you up for a
Smart
fray.
mouth son of a bitch.
Okay already.
Black
That's
and
done,
blue.
Cole. We're gonna have to pacify these poor saps.
Ох, дружок. Что там дальше у нас? О, шляпу потерял. Двое поехали, трое.
Good thing you showed up when you did, detectives. Those folks were baying for blood.
Okay then. Let's see if there's anything left to take a look at.
Так, смотрим улики. Что тут есть подозрительного? Возле дома или в доме. Вот, несколько... О, тут вообще весь район сгорел. Да. Как в дом покупать? Никак. Как попасть в дом?
Phelps, I think I found something over here.
Что ты нашел? А, листочек какой-то. Нет? Или что? Что он нашел здесь?
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal on a fire?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
Вот так вот, да?
If we're paying a visit to Elizabeth and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
Нет, не стоит. Ну все, поехали дальше, получается.
You know the way. You can drive.
За рулем на парнях, пора уже привыкнуть.
With affiliates in Los Angeles, California.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
Send them through.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
May I help you, gentlemen?
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right to.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office.
Угу. А вот и сам босс. Давайте все узнаем.
You like a cigar? Drink, boys.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs. We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Так, фигурант дела Леланд Монро, президент Элизиан филдс. Первый вопрос. Связь Элизиан с поджогами. Заговорился.
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
Мнение.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecued, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
Правильный вопрос. Розыгрыш
What do you
поездки.
know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Ну, сомнения опять.
Two families are dead, Mr. Monroe. This isn't a question of criminal liability. We're looking at conspiracy to commit murder.
Do you know who you're talking to, son? You want to use incendiary language like that with me? I suggest you should leave immediately.
Это неправильно, скорее всего, это ложь была. Скупка участков.
You've made offers to buy
Следующий
houses in
вопрос.
areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their homes so that I can sell them new ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
Сомнения.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe that you would build a new development with one of those old piles smack bang in the center of it?
Progress is an inexorable process, detective. Those who choose to stand in defiance are usually confined to the wastebasket of history. To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see sense.
Это верно. Пожар на Ранчо Эскондидо.
What's Elysian Fields' involvement in Rancho Escondido?
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend, or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulations.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
Это ложь.
You're lying, Monroe. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
Некачественный цемент.
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being used on those houses are undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings were inspected and fully insured by California Fire and Life. Investment of that magnitude demands it. Do you think that they'd vouch for the buildings without examining them? The arsonists, do you have any suspects?
We aren't at liberty to say.
I didn't think so. The contractors I use for waybills, do you suppose it could be any of them? I have a list of their names if it'd be of any help.
That would be very helpful, Mr. Monroe.
Glad to hear it. I'm always happy to help the LAPD. My secretary will provide you with that list. Did you know that I'm on the board of the police pension fund?
Подъебал моего напарника, сказал, что он уходит.
What's the story? Any of these names ring a bell?
Джозеф Брэдли, Пол Джонс, Герберт Чэпмен, Михаил Тайфл, Том Леон Петров. Нет, а Томас Эфил, Дэвид Эшфорд. Брэдли, по-моему, был. Нет. Джозеф Брэдли. Пол Джонс. Я всех по очереди пройду.
Herbert Chapman
В
is on
этом
this
списке
list.
значится Герберт Чэпмен.
Find the phone. We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
Walking down the street and that heel
Your
said,
boss is a fine man.
Так, где телефон? А, вот он.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you check whether we are still holding a Herbert Chapman?
Let me find out for you. He was released this morning, Detective. I'm sorry, Detective.
Not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB on the guy?
I'll get back to you, Detective. APB will go out over KGPL shortly.
Thanks for your help.
Отлично, у нас путь.
I love the chase till the minute I win it. A beautiful face till there's love for me in it. Give me your heart and baby I'll bill it. 'Cause I always kill the things I love.
Buy me a drink, Cole?
No! Not even for old time's sake? Not even for that.
You're not gonna ask me why I'm here?
I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it.
She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save
about...
the threats for someone who cares about them, Roy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you. Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
I love you.
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that company.
I have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
You get the message about Monro?
Yeah. Earl delivered it. You?
McKelty. He started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Earl. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
KGPL calling car 11K, 11K.
11K, go ahead.
11K, the last known address of suspect Herbert Chapman is 650 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
You fought at Sugarloaf, didn't
I did. But I don't like to talk about it. You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
You know Jack
Kelso? He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time.
Работает за взятки и подруга Фелпса, главного героя, который пел.
Jack keeps
Все
stalling just
из
like you do.
убойного отдела.
You know what it
Ребята,
feels like to get back from conflict. You
и
gotta
он
respect that.
попросил, чтобы мы не влазили в это дело, типа, и теперь этим будет заниматься убойное дело. Но, вопреки всему, мы едем в дом фигуранта дела. Сейчас посмотрим, что там хранит. После прохождения, наверное, всех зданий я буду собирать еще все секретные машины. И также открывать костюмы. Насколько я знаю, можно собрать полицейские жетоны и будут открываться костюмы. Хочу какой-нибудь редкий секретный костюмчик открыть. Жетонов немного, по-моему, 20 штук. Я думаю, что это много времени быстро проехать и собрать. Так, где-то здесь.
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah, he's out somewhere. There's some kind of problem.
Let's take a look at the car.
Так, это машина Чэпмена. О.
Let's see what he's hauling around.
Спираль. Спираль, патроны 45-го калибра.
She wants a 5-star goddamn wedding.
We should revise the APB. He's clearly armed.
Ну, и эта листовка, походу, дела. Да.
I think his name is Phelps. He brought in that case of that poor lady killed near City Hall.
Definitely gives him opportunity.
Find her if you tell him to shift that goddamn jalopy.
Ага. Да, нам бы неплохо было бы его найти. Да, не могу зайти. Квартира Чэпмена. Угу. Пойдем искать тогда. Может, с черного хода можно как-то зайти.
Here's what I heard. That cop the guy who did the Dahlia. They covered it all up. Some kind of big
Закрыто. Что тут смотрим?
So what next?
Let's take a look at the car.
Мы уже машину смотрим. Ну. Чтобы изучить внимательно, не нажал. Не нажал.
This guy must have escaped from the loony bin.
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
Да, не нажал.
Holy cool. There he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat. Shit. He's seen us.
Cops. Again.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. He must have caught the trolley. We gotta move fast, Cole. I'll call this in. Get some cars dispatched. Car 11K calling KGPL. 11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar. Currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously. Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him. See if he can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down. Don't go to sleep on me. Get it close. Hold him tight, Cole. As soon as he ditches the trap, we'll be there to grab him. End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole. Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
What are you talking about?
The fires benefit Elizabeth in some way. I don't see Chapman and Monro working together.
You have a point. The evidence is good for Chapman. Hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember. I couldn't be happier than to wipe him off the scoreboard. I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps? We'll be calling Richard Nixon a crook next.
What is it?
A letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elizabeth?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject this settlement. I want you to go and see. Investigator.
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
Why would he help this Kelso?
Jack, Won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He is a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
Отлично, на 5. Всем пока.